All right. Hey, how's it going, y'all? Welcome back to TUTV. My name is Jack.
I'm Lily.
And we the show started, we were kind of discussing, we're going to jump right into the news right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because yesterday, the interview with Oprah and Meghan Markle and
Harry something. We don't know his last name. Harry.
Because everyone knows the royal family because you have like Princess Diana, and at the time Prince Harry. But what's their last name?
I really don't know. I have no idea. Queen Elizabeth, what? Don't know.
Exactly. Is it just of England? Like, no, they gotta have like a last name.
I don't know, but we don't know it. But besides the point, they had the interview, and
very interesting.
It's so sad. Boo-hoo. Oh, you know.
I mean, I think it's sad with the premise of the treatment that they got, but
no one wants to be treated that way regardless.
Exactly.
Right. I get that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I'm just stuck on his last name. Like, I can't shake it.
Duke of Sussex, right?
Well, are they? Because they're not even a
Not anymore. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the show. Bye.
See ya.
Hello and welcome back to TUTV News. I'm Christina.
And I'm Hannah. Let's dive right into this week's news stories.
Last Wednesday, the U.S. House of Representatives approved a bill that seeks to improve America's voting system entitled For the People Act. The bill would overhaul the current voting system, which varies state by state. Some lawmakers say this contributes to low voter turnouts and other systemic barriers. Mandatory automatic voter registration, restoration of voting rights to people with completed felony sentences, and the allowance of citizens to make a sworn statement regarding their identity if they are not in possession of an ID are all part of the bill. The bill was originally introduced back in 2019 but was rebooted this January in the hopes that the newly Democratic majority House would pass it. The bill still needs approval from the Senate and a signature from President Biden before it becomes a law.
Last week, President Biden moved up on his COVID vaccine supply timeline and promised that every adult in the United States will have access to the vaccine by this May. Originally, Biden said that July would be a realistic time for the average American to expect their vaccinations due to the new variants of the vaccine being distributed slower than anticipated. Despite directing states to prioritize educators for the vaccine, Biden also said that schools can safely start to reopen without some teachers having received their shots. According to data from the CDC, more than 100 million vaccine doses have been delivered and over 78 million doses have been administered.
Last Tuesday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that the state will soon be lifting its mask mandate and having business statewide return to normal operations. The decision has faced intense backlash from many sources, including CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky and President Joe Biden. The day after the announcement, President Biden went on record to say that people should still be wearing their masks and that this kind of move is, quote, Neanderthal thinking, end quote. CDC Director Walensky says that returning to business as usual is unwise and that the upcoming months are crucial in managing the virus.
This past Saturday saw the one-year anniversary for the first COVID case recorded in Oklahoma. Now, 1 year later, Oklahoma is in a better place than when we started, but caution is still needed. At a last count on Sunday, Oklahoma had about 12,000 active cases of the virus, which is down almost 100 from only a couple of days earlier. With 3 vaccines available in Oklahoma, the State Department of Health is now reporting that 0 counties are in the high COVID risk level. Most counties fall into the yellow or moderate risk zone, with 28 counties being classified as having a higher risk level of orange. Health officials across the country warn that all people should continue to observe COVID guidelines, including those who have been vaccinated.
Over the weekend on Sunday, Pope Francis became the first Catholic pope to visit the country of Iraq. Father Ghazwan Baho invited Pope Francis to Mosul back in 2014 and insisted that he would come. despite the city at the time being in ruins from daily fighting. Mosul experienced near total destruction only a few years ago due to attempts by religious insurgent group ISIS to capture the city. During his visit, the vaccinated Pope and his team denounced religious fanaticism and offered prayers for the dead. Father Bajos said that the Pope's historic visit marks the beginning of a new era, going on to say, quote, "He will bring his blessing and spread peace and brotherhood."
Wow. Okay, so a lot of vaccination talk this week.
Yeah, really.
Speaking of which, I actually signed up to get my vaccine this Friday, which I'm
Cool.
really excited about. Yeah.
Yeah, my roommate actually managed to get one this morning, and I know some other people on wait lists already, so I'm glad we're like moving past all of this and getting things done.
It feels a lot more real now that we're eligible. And
Right.
definitely want to encourage our viewers to go take the questionnaire, see if you're eligible, and sign up as soon as you can to get the vaccine. But yeah.
Yeah, that's all the time we have for this week. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the interview for this episode. Today, I'm here with Emma Palmer and Emily Every with Stylus. Thank you so much for being here, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. You know, it's always an honor to be here first time, but I expect the return will be good too.
Awesome. Can you guys introduce yourselves, what your year, your major, what your position is at Stylus, and anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, so I'm Emma Palmer. I am a senior this year, majoring in creative writing, English, and art. And at Stylus, I am the head senior art editor.
Awesome.
And I'm Emily Every. I'm also a senior. Also, we're roommates, so
Yeah.
if you're watching this, we're not breaking COVID guidelines.
No.
Don't worry about it. I'm double majoring in English as well and environmental policy with a minor in economics. And then also to mention, I guess, is we both also work for the Collegian. So write for us there. We'd love it.
Most definitely.
Awesome. Can you explain to the viewers what Stylus is and what its purpose is?
Yeah, so Stylus is a annual literary and arts journal that is published by the University of Tulsa. It's entirely student run. We have like our lovely supervisor, but other than that, it's all TU students. And it's been running, this will be our 10th anniversary, so it's been around for about 10 years now. That's what Stylus is.
That's awesome. For anyone who is interested in Stylus this year or next year, who can enter and what can they enter, and is there any sort of prizes with it?
Yeah, so our submissions are actually closed this year, which I guess is unfortunate for any aspiring writers or artists, but if you're not, because we'll be fit again next year, in details, we won't be here for it.
Yeah, we'll be gone.
Yeah, we'll be gone. But I'm sure details will be forthcoming on that the next couple months. But basically, Stylus, you can be, as you mentioned, like it's a graphic artist or like an illustration. What are the art categories, Emily?
Oh,
Emma?
there are a lot of different categories, but basically anything in art. And then there's also creative writing bent to it. It's open to all students. I think we've published grad student work as well as
it's kind of labeled as an undergrad thing, and that's definitely our biggest focus because we do want to give people the opportunity to be published. Like it's a great resume line. It's mostly Stylus is interesting because like it's student led and student run and it's student work, but beyond like the student aspect of it, it is a publishment. You know, like it's in a bound book. It's in a bound book. You get a copy of it. But in terms of submissions for creative writing, we have creative nonfiction, just like fiction, which is creative fiction within like a 15-page limit generally, poetry, and screenplays for all what we accept.
And you don't have to be any specific major to apply. It's just the only requirement is that you are a TU student who creates some sort of something that you'd like to submit.
Awesome. That's amazing. That's open for everyone. When will this year's edition be published, and how can someone find the journal?
Yeah, so this year we are aiming for the journal to be published kind of, I don't think we have specific dates, but right around the same time as like finals. Typically our awards reception is on like a dead day, I think, in the past. So generally the way it works is we have our reception and the journals are available for pickup there. This year, obviously, it'll be a little bit different. I'm thinking probably you can get your hands on a journal at the School of Art is where we keep them. So if you go into that building, into the office, they have it there. And each student that gets published gets like 2 free copies, and copies of them that are like $5 a piece.
Yeah, pretty
They're cheap.
inexpensive. And then we'll be sending out emails, I guess, regarding all of this in the future as we like finalize our book, and we'll probably have a digital edition by dead dates, if not a published one. Again, with COVID, it's hard to. I'm not in the details of that, but I'm assuming it'll be hard to know the exact like delivery date as it was last year. But we'll be working towards it either way.
Awesome. Thank you again, Emma and Emily, for being here. It was great interviewing you guys today. We are going to head off to the rest of the show. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and welcome back to TUTV Sports.
And I'm Ethan. Let's jump right into the episode.
The Manchester Derby took place this past weekend, and the stakes were higher than ever. Manchester United and Manchester City were competing for the top slot in the Premier League, with Manchester City leading the division by only 10 points. Manchester City had won 21 straight-headed into the game Sunday, but Manchester United scored in the second minute on a penalty shot by Bruno Fernandes, making the score 1-0. That score held until the 50th minute when a shot by Luke Shaw stunned the Manchester City goalie Edison Santana de Moraes, making the score 2-0. Manchester United would hold the lead and snap the 21st game winning streak of City rival Manchester City in their 2-0 win.
Team LeBron defeated Team Durant in the NBA All-Star Game this past weekend by a score of 170-150. Team LeBron featured starters LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, and Luka Doncic. Team Durant starters were Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, Kyrie Irving, and Bradley Beal. While Kevin Durant sat the game out due to injury concerns, Giannis Antetokounmpo won MVP of the game with 35 points and 5 assists, as well as being the top scorer for Team LeBron. Team Durant's top scorer was Bradley Beal with 26 points and 4 assists. Both Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were supposed to play in the All-Star game, but were placed on the COVID list due to contact tracing from a barbershop in Philadelphia.
The Tulsa women's basketball team had a game against Wichita State last Tuesday and played well, but fell short once again. The Golden Hurricane was down heading into the fourth quarter, but came back to tie the game 69-69 and send it to overtime. However, Wichita State would close out the game in overtime, outscoring Tulsa 16-8 to win the game 85-77. Rivette Mabry led the Tulsa Golden Hurricane with 24 points and 4 assists, as well as a clutch block to send the game to overtime.
The Tulsa men's basketball team ended their regular season last Thursday with a big win over Northeastern State. The Golden Hurricane led by the score of 53-34 and continued to pile on in the second half to win 107-74. Brandon Rashaw led TU in scoring with 18 points, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds. The Tulsa men's team ended their season with 11 wins and 11 losses, with a record of 7-9 in conference play.
The TU softball team played in the annual TU OSU tournament this weekend. TU had 2 games against New Mexico and won both of them by scores of 7-0 and 3-2 respectively. The Golden Hurricane then faced off against Omaha for 2 games, which they won 9-4 and 11-3 respectively. To end the tournament, Tulsa played against OSU and lost 7-0 to bring their record so far this season to 4-4. The softball team will play in Jayhawk Invitational later in March and in anticipation for the beginning of their regular season in April.
So you're from England, and I'm very obviously not from England. So how was, and I know you're going to get mad if you were saying this, but how big was soccer growing up for you?
Firstly, it's football.
Yeah.
And for me, not so much, but a few of my friends absolutely love it.
watch every single game, even if it's not the team they support. Like, it's a big deal for most people, just not for me.
Yeah, like, and it's never really been super big here, but yeah, and I agree with you on the football thing, but it just sounds so wrong to call my football anything else
Because
besides
you touch
football.
it with your hands. Like,
Yeah, like,
our football, you play
but
with your feet.
it's just too traditional at this point. So that's all we have for this week. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to TU Entertainment. My name's David.
And I'm Jonathan. Glad to see you all. Now let's get right into this week's entertainment news.
The Recording Academy has announced the performers for next week's Grammy Award ceremony. The star-studded lineup includes big names such as Doja Cat, Bad Bunny, BTS, and Taylor Swift. Other performers listed were rappers Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, pop singer Harry Styles, and many more. The 2021 Grammy Awards were originally planned to take place on January 31st, but the show was delayed due to COVID-19. The Grammy show will now air this Sunday, March 14th at 7 p.m. Central Time. The show will take place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles and will be available to watch on CBS and Paramount Plus app.
Gilcrease Museum has teamed up with the Photographers of Tulsa group for its latest exhibit titled Assignment Tulsa. The exhibit features photographs showcasing life in Tulsa during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the social justice protests that took place in the summer of 2020. Assignment Tulsa was originally a photography contest that began in July of 2020, with themes surrounding Tulsa buildings, people, parks, and icons. The winning photographs make up the exhibit, which is open to the public from now until July 4th of 2021. The Thomas Gilcrease Institute of American History and Art, also known as Gilcrease Museum, is located just north of downtown Tulsa.
U.S. Poet Laureate Joy Harjo is back on the music scene following the release of her album in over a decade last Friday. The album, titled I Pray for My Enemies, features tracks inspired by traditional Muskogee Creek music as well as some of the 69-year-old's most notable poems. It features a new song titled How Love Blows Through the Trees, which reflects on the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic. Harjo and co-producer Barrett Martin described the album as funkified spoken word, and, quote, Harjo, who lives in Tulsa, made history when she became the first Native American to be named Poet Laureate of the United States back in 2019.
The Philbrook Museum of Art is set to open its latest exhibition, called Views of Greenwood. Next week, the exhibit features photographs taken of Tulsa's Greenwood district over the last 50 years. Greenwood, which is located in downtown Tulsa, was an affluent black neighborhood before it was destroyed during the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. The photos chronicle the changes within the Greenwood neighborhood, as well as the strength exhibited by its inhabitants throughout the years. Views of Greenwood will be on display at the Philbrook Museum in Tulsa starting this Sunday, March 14th.
Singer-songwriter Dolly Parton is up for the 50th Grammy nomination of her career at this year's Grammy Awards. The 75-year-old is nominated for Best Contemporary Christian Music Performance for her collaboration on the song There Was Jesus with Christian rock singer Zach Williams. Parton, who has been active in the music industry for over 60 years, has won 9 Grammy Awards so far in her career. She is now the second most nominated woman in Grammy history, surpassed only by singer-songwriter Beyonce Knowles, with 79 Grammy nominations. Are you excited for the Grammys this weekend?
Oh, I am very excited for the Grammys this weekend. My boys BTS are going to show up and show out. Yes.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm not too big for BTS myself. I'm really excited for Cardi B and all those other singers. Don't know too much about them, but I'm sure the performances after all of this time in COVID will be amazing.
Oh, definitely, 100%. I am looking forward to this performance.
All right. Well, that's all we had for this week. We'll see you again next week. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, guys. I am currently in the middle of nowhere. Well, not middle of nowhere. I'm in a forest somewhere in Tulsa. You can hear the cars in the distance, so you know there is life around. But it's really dark. It's 9:30. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared. I'm a little bit scared. So I'm currently looking for Bigfoot. And on the shows, usually what they do is some sort of like Bigfoot call. I might be in trouble. Oh yeah, I am in trouble. That is park security. I should have thought this through. Is there another part of the park that's open, 24/7?
No.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, that's a bust. No Bigfoot today, y'all. See you next week. Apparently it was trespassing. Apparently it was closed, and I went after it was closed. And the security guard came up and told me to leave. My first thought was, oh boy, oopsie daisy. I did not mean to do that. I thought it was just a park that you can go to whenever. Didn't know that forests could close. Didn't know that was a thing. But then I started to think, interesting. I wonder, maybe, if Bigfoot was there, maybe they don't want him to be found. Ever think of that? Ever think that maybe they close the park at 9? Because that's when Bigfoot comes out and hangs out. Just a theory. Now, I never approached the officer about it. I'm sure he wouldn't spill the beans that easy. But just a theory.
Oh, was that Bigfoot at the end?
Up to you to decide. I guess we'll find out next week. That was a bit of an escapade. That was a bit of an adventure.
Yeah, so
me.
did you get kicked out by the park rangers?
That's exactly what happened, yeah. I did not know it closed. I thought it was just a park that you could just go to. I didn't know that they closed.
Did you not, like, if you looked it up, like how they usually have, like, hours, did you not look for hours? Did you just go like, it's a park?
Exactly. That's exactly what I did. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would they close it? Just like, it's just the forest. Like,
It's for safety.
of what? Of who?
People. Because of animals, or for, if, have you seen Criminal Minds? A lot of things happen in the woods that aren't okay.
Yeah, well, that's what I was looking for.
No, Jack. You're looking for Bigfoot.
Exactly.
Bigfoot is not.
Yeah, I think that Bigfoot's probably there. He's chilling. But the problem is that they won't let us come after 9, so of course no one's going to find him.
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe Bigfoot needs to, have some time alone. Like, just, like, have his alone time and, like, sleep,
When I first heard the sirens, or not sirens, but, like, you could hear, like, the, like, had like a megaphone being like, you gotta get out of here. And I was like,
yeah.
Like, my first thought is, like, I'm fine. Not a big deal. What are they gonna do? Like, arrest me for accidentally trespassing? Not a big deal. So, but then as I was driving away, I was like, they could have easily just, like...
I was going to say, I think that is a big deal if they would arrest you.
Yeah, arrested me, but, it's fine.
But hey, at least you know now. You won't do it again.
Of course, I won't ever do it again. That's a horrible, horrible thing to do. And I wouldn't even recommend people to do it at all, ever, ever.
Perfect.
Signed, Jack Zico. But no, it was fun. It was fun. Hopefully next week we get some more footage. We'll see.
Hey. Are we going to find, did you find Bigfoot?
I'm not telling you.
Are you guys going to tell me, or are you going to tell the audience? Because I could, like, close my ears.
Maybe later.
Not close my ears.
I didn't find Bigfoot, but I found some guy that was just, like, in the woods kind of living there. He was chill.
Dang.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah. See you next week.
See you next week.